Hi, I'm Ole from Subphotic.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a boom bap drum kit from scratch. I have put together a free pack of drum samples and basses and effects for you to start right off. The samples I use in this video is in this package. The link is in the description. First things first, selecting drums. In my case, I almost always do the drums as the second or the third thing I do when I make a beat. I usually chop up a sample first to have my initial loop going. I almost never start off with the drums. No, I can't think of any beat I made recently that started with using drums. So what I would typically do is I will listen to the sample that I've just made like this. Listen to this sample. It's a nice loop. Consists of chops from a break that I found on a vinyl record because I'm old school. Then I would start thinking what types of kicks, what types of snares, what types of hi-hat would be fitted for this particular loop. And I would go digging in my libraries, which are on my MPC. There I have some custom libraries that I've accumulated over the years. I have them neatly laid out. Of course, too many drum samples, so I will always scroll a lot. Spend more time than needed, actually. So having just a pack of, 5 of this, 10 of that is much more neat, but on the other hand, you need some choice also. So you get a feel for it. I learn where I have my stuff. That's more workflow related, but anyways, I have to select some drums. And now I need something that fits the puzzle. And this is more or less 100% experience with finding sounds that fit with each other. So for this one, I think I would need something like this. Listen to this kick. I often find the kick first because that's the foundation, the deep sounding kick. Yeah, okay. And then when I have this kick, I need a snare that complements the kick. Now, a good rule of thumb that I often use is the kick and the snare has to be the same pitch. Only that the kick is 1 octave below, and then 1 octave over, you have the snare. If you can figure out kick and snare as in the tonal spectrum, Listen to this. You see? The kick and the snare is the same pitch, only the kick is 1 octave below. Okay. So that's the selection. So I've now selected a basic kick and a basic snare. Now what I need to do is make the kick and the snare more powerful. I would like the kick and the snare to punch through the sample even more. I feel that something is lacking in this kick, and maybe something is lacking in the snare as well. There are some textures that I would like to include to make them punch through more, to make them more hearable, more substantial. Let's see if I can find something. Okay, here we have it. Oh yeah, here we go. So you hear that this kick has some qualities, while this other kick has other qualities. And that's why you would layer a kick, not to double up in the bass frequencies, double up the 40 hertz, for example. You don't want to do that. It becomes muddy and blurry, and they might even cancel each other out, and you don't want that. You want them to complement each other. So if you have a deep kick, say, you have something that is profound in the 60 hertz area, for example, and doesn't go far over 100 hertz, you would need something that occupies the frequencies above 100 hertz. Listen to this kick, for example. More grit, more dirt, more mud. Mud is a negative word, but you want some mud as well. These two together makes a powerful kick. Now listen to the snare. Listen to the transit, how it pops. Now, if we only have this transient heavy snare with compression and all the processing that we are going to use, this will almost disappear and be weak sounding. So we need something with more body, something with more room and energy after the initial high frequency transient that you hear on this kick. And this snare also has some initial transients, and I would use a compressor or a transient shaper to shave off the transients of this one, because I don't want two transient heavy sounds hitting at the same time, because it wouldn't serve the beat or the song or anything. It will only make things sound weak sounding. So I have one snare for transient and I have one snare for body. How about that? They complete each other. Now, maybe I even want an additional snare sample to occupy the lower end of the frequency spectrum. And then we would like some hi-hats. And we're searching up some hi-hats. And also think tonally. I'm thinking tonally here. So something that matches the sample and matches the kick and the snare. Something that goes well. Okay. Now with this hi-hat, as you can hear, there's a lot of high frequency content. Of course, it should be. It's a hi-hat. It's one of those elements that usually occupies the air frequencies, the 10 to 20K. But let's use a low-pass filter on this just to tame off some of those very high-pitched sounds. And this is smart because now we create more headroom for the beats to live in. Boom bap drums typically have more mid-frequencies. It's more mid-range focused because it's old school. You know, samples from the 70s, drum breaks from the 70s. There weren't much high-end. There weren't much 15 to 20K sounds in the 70s. So yeah, here we go. Yes, this is more boom bappy, and maybe some tape distortion, maybe a clipper, some heavy compression, maybe multiband compression to leave the highest highs alone and compress the mid-range. It's a matter of trying and failing. So now we have the kick, we have the snare, we have the hi-hats, and we have some oomph going on. Right. So we can process this together, and this is only simple beats. I will make a whole other video where I show you how I program the beats, both with the mouse or with the MPC. I'll show you my techniques, but that's for another video. I will link it in the description of this video once the other video is up. And yeah, I think that's it. Making the best choices of drum samples to complement the beat you're making. Choosing the best drum samples to complement your beat. That's the essence of this video. Well, what do you think? Did I make some good choices or what? Regarding the layering, the selection, the processing? What do you think? Do you use other approaches when you're making beats? Do you do the drums first, or do you do the samples first? What do you do? Let's discuss in the comments. And if you like videos like these, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!